Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're tackling the topic that hits close to home for a lot of people, but they may have not said anything about it, which is money secrets in relationships. Can love survive financial infidelity and what your partner lies about debt? How many of us have ever kept a financial detail from a partner, whether it's something small or something bigger? A recent survey shows that nearly 1 in 4 Americans admit to keeping money-related secrets from their significant other. That's financial deception, y'all. So what happens when those secrets get exposed, and how does it impact trust and stability in relationships? Your queens for today and king are Tierra. She is the actress, producer, boss, honey. We have Marlo Layson. She is a TV and film producer. All right. She putting out the film. Wealth activist, aka Blue Shirt Constance Carter. And Joe Corley, licensed therapist. Okay. He is not one of those armchair YouTube therapists. He's the real deal. So for those of you who may not know, financial infidelity or financial deception is something that is very, very common. Statistics show that 43% of people who have combined finances with a partner admit to some act of financial deception. Studies suggest that financial deception can cause serious strains leading to arguments, trust breakdowns, and even divorce. 44% of Black Americans have admitted to financial deception, a higher percentage compared to white Americans at 28%. So this is something, even though it's not widely discussed, this is something that happens quite often. And I want to go into a clip where we discuss one of the examples of how this can show up in life.
Do not ever do this. So I interviewed a girl who married a guy 10 years older than her. He was making more, but said his credit was a little off. So they went to buy a home together. They go to get a mortgage, and she puts her name on the mortgage, but both of their names go on the deed. The day they closed, boom, IRS shows up. He has over $50,000 in back taxes owed to the IRS. So they now own the asset that she owes the full mortgage to. Obviously, it doesn't work out. They get divorced. The only way for her to settle was for her to pay off his back taxes. Absolutely ridiculous. And with just one simple pull of his credit report, she could have avoided all of that. It's sad, it exists, and she is a victim of the definition of financial infidelity.
Woo, okay, that was a lot right there. So with that first, because I want to go to our credit queen extraordinaire, Constance Carter. So is that something that would even show up as a credit report? And do you recommend couples pulling each other credit reports so there's financial transparency in relationship?
Well, yeah, you definitely should pull. I would want to know what my partner before I engage myself in any type of marital activities. Absolutely, I want to know what your credit score is. But that is not something that would show up on your credit. Your tax liens do not show up on your credit, so she wouldn't have known that if she would have pulled this credit. But here's what I always say: even if you're married, and I was just having this discussion with my cousin earlier today, don't buy a house with your spouse. I say this not because I tell people to hide things from each other, but I think if you could purchase a property on your own, you should do that, and then have your partner purchase a property on their own. That way, you can have more. You can actually get approved for more first-time home buyer programs, lower down payment assistance. So if you have one over here, you got one over there, you use that one as leverage to buy next one. You use that as leverage to buy next one. Now y'all have increased all of your portfolio. And you don't impact your debt to income ratio, which is great. But here's the thing in all of it, because some states are community property states, right? So you're entitled to the property anyway if something happens. Always put your homes in a living trust. So everybody's entitled to it anyway. So we know that you guys are both the beneficiaries of the trust. You both have access to the properties, but it just gives you more leverage to be able to qualify for more.
Thank you for that quick tip. And thank you for letting us know that not everything is going to show up on a credit report. But I bet you if they ran that IRS transcript, that lien would have popped up.
Yeah. Oh
which
yeah.
is something that is free and available to do online with everyone's individual IRS account. So that's just a tip out there. But before we get in further, I want us to play a little game. And those of you in the comment section, feel free to join in. Have you ever been lied to financially? Have you ever personally experienced financial deception? Marla, I'm going to start with you first.
I have. In my marriage, he was raised in a funny money situation. So he didn't even know that transparency in money was a thing. But we hit a rough patch in our marriage.
I'm sorry to laugh.
And in that rough patch, he had taken his direct deposit from a joint account. He had stopped it. And so I didn't notice it until I got an alert that something had been paid. And I'm like, what happened? And I go back and I look, and it's weeks of direct deposits that are missing from his end. And he was like, oh, they said we could only have one bank that we're routing money to. So I had to take it off. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you tell me that? Well, he didn't have enough money for the side chick. So he was spreading his money super thin, honey. He was spreading it super thin, honey. So yes, I have been lied to, and that's why I'm not married anymore. That lie opened the door of another lie, which opened the door of another lie, and I was standing in a house of lies, honey, and I had to leave because it wasn't mine.
Oh, so it was like a Russian dollar lies. He was like, where all the lies coming at? Oh my God. But that is actually an example of financial deception, because people often think that, maybe similar to the video, that maybe they just didn't tell you about something in their student loan or something like that. But financial deception is actually a big, broad thing. It includes infidelity, like paying off the side chick, or I have a whole side family that I'm paying for, or I gambled all our money away and now we're risk of losing our home. So I just want the audience to know it's a broad overview, and it represents a lack of financial transparency. Now, Joe, you are the licensed therapist extraordinaire, honey. I know you see all kind of people coming through the door because Joe stayed booked and busy. Have you seen, first of all, answer the financial deception question for yourself, and also what have you seen in your clients? Is that a common thing that people experience within their relationships?
Well, personally, I don't think I've ever been financially deceived. Not by like in a well, I guess the closest I came to it was a relationship I was in with where the female's family got over on me, got me to buy a house. Yeah, yeah. Her brother was a loan officer, got me to buy a house from her mom that rescued her mom from a situation, but put me in a really bad situation with a terrible loan that I ended up foreclosing on, and you know, that cost me a lot of years of financial struggle. But I don't. I think he might have. I think the brother might have deceived me and her, to be honest. But that's about as close as I got to it.
So he's still walking around alive, Joe. You didn't spray it. You didn't spin the block on him.
I was really young at the time. I didn't really realize what had happened until I got older and more mature. And I look back on it, I'm like, man, he really got me with that. You know what I mean? So it took me to look back to recognize what was happening. And by then, I had moved all the way on, was in a whole nother relationship, and kept it moving. But yeah, that's about as close as I got to it. And me personally, I probably, me and my wife, my current wife, went through I went through a real financial struggle, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna do everything and anything. If I got to, go scrub toilets, I mean, we gonna be okay." And I did not go scrub no toilets. So that was me kind of, and she called me on it, and my pride had to engage, and my ego had to engage and be like, yeah, I did say I would do anything to help us in it, and I didn't do what I said. So that's about as close as I got to financial deception, and I had to take accountability for that. But from a client standpoint, I have seen, the one that comes to mind is a couple who the female was coming from like a wealthy situation, and the male was carrying not only himself but also his mother and his brother, and he was like supporting two households. And they were trying to they were like getting ready to get married, and every session was about how his money was tied up in his family situation. And he just kept saying, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. And I think, I didn't hear from him for a while. And then they ended up getting married. And like a couple months in, they came back and nothing had changed. The situation was as hard as it was before they got married, but she ignored it and went forward because she was so hyper focused on getting married in the wedding. And he was still taking care of his mom, his brother, and all of their, like a good portion of their finances was tied up in taking care of his family. And they couldn't get their situation to get any better than it was.
Listen, that is why I endorse premarital counseling, and that's why before I even put money on a down payment on nothing, I had premarital counseling because I was focused on the marriage and not the day, honey, because that is a big mistake that couples make. So, Constance, I actually want to go into you because I know, girl, you have some stories. But before that, we're going to hit a nice little commercial break, and then we'll go into juicy details with Constance and Tiara.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
Hey, that was Queens to 87948. Okay, Queens, honey, Queens. Actually, instead of Constance, let's go to the queen herself, Tiara. 87948. So, Tiara, I know that you've never been married, but I know you have men are men. So have you experienced financial, and I know Joe looked upset. Look at Joe's face. Joe got upset when I said that. Men are men.
There you go.
Men.
At least two people on this panel have known me for a really long time. So
Negro being Negroing.
Ninjas go ninja. So have you experienced financial deception?
I have. The thing about me is I'm the one that likes to see the best in every situation or every person. I like to believe people at the forefront until they show me who they are. And even after they show me who they are, sometimes, depending on the nature of the relationship, if you know what I mean, I'll like overlook it and be like, that's okay. So I'm just gonna one story and I'll tell the rest later. But basically, like, I ended up in a situation with someone, we were dating, and not only was it like financial deception, like, oh, well, you want to do this thing together, let's do this venture together. He was like, cool. I said, all right, it'll be $1,000 for the first down payment of us to do this thing. And on the day, he was like, oh, my money is tied up in I can't get access to because my dog had died, and then I got whatever it was. And I said, well, that's okay, I got it. So I put the down payment down, right? And then from there, I never got the $1,000. I end up like $10,000 in debt messing with this person, and I still dated him, y'all. Like, I still was like, it's okay, he has it. It's in a Russian account in
Tanzania. It's in a Russian account in Tanzania, and the word for the day is digmatized.
Is that the type of relationship you were referring to, Tiara? That's why you have the rose-colored glasses on, because
it gets fuzzy sometimes.
That digmatization is real.
Let me tell you something, honey.
That digmatization, that have you being a lover and a secretary, honey. You every woman with that digmatization.
I couldn't see.
Somebody, that cataract over your
y'all
eye.
make fun of me already, but I couldn't see the light.
I know. Listen, I've been blinded.
Became Ray Charles, and so, all right, Constance, our wealth activist, honey, real estate mogul extraordinaire, honey, and a good mom, right? So, have you ever experience financial infidelity, financial deception, and what did you do?
Where do I start? I mean, I
Did
could
you
tell.
burn up the car like Angela? Did you do? You
You
just
know what? If I would have known what this conversation was going to be about, I probably wouldn't have even came on here today. I'm gonna tell you. Listen, where do I start? As a woman who was the breadwinner, and then having someone who didn't have any income, there, of course, you're gonna experience that. But I can tell you story after story. I will tell you this. Literally, I came on here a little bit late because my daddy was praying for me because of the very thing. Okay, so let me just tell you real quick. So I'm in the process of buying a house, right? And so I when I got separated, I purchased my ex a home, and to make
that
sure
was
he was set
nice
up.
of you. That
I
was
did. I
nice of
purchased
you.
him a home. I paid off his car, and I gave him spousal support.
What?
And yeah,
Girl.
Listen, what?
with no prompting from the courts. This was just me wanting to make sure he was good. And so, part of the settlement was that he paid his own mortgage. So I took the house out of my name. When you talk about that with having an asset or liability with no asset, so that the loan is in my name, the house is now in his name. So last year he was late on the mortgage. Dropped my score 150 points, right? And so I went to court to because typically if this happens, you could just tell the courts that this happened. They'll take you off. They'll say either he's gonna have to sell it or refinance it. But I didn't, I never won any court case when I went to court. But anyway, we go. He says the bank was down for a week. Lied. Bank wasn't down for a week, and the judge believed him.
The bank ain't taking no money.
Right.
The bank is closed.
Right. The bank's been closed for a week.
Constance, did you have a public defender lawyer?
Just about. So she said, I paid him a few $1,000s just for this one to go there and make me lose. So basically she said, okay, there was a bank snafu. You got to keep the house in your name, right? So guess what happened 2 days ago? I get a call from the mortgage company. The mortgage was late last month. I'm in the process of trying to buy a house right now. So, but I now since the last late, I check every month to make sure he pays. It just got returned. And so it hasn't hit my credit yet. So that's what my daddy was praying for before I got on here. Lord, please don't let it hit her credit. Let her close on this house before it hits her credit. So now I'm dealing with that. So yeah, I mean, but that's a number. I mean, I could go, like I said, the whole hour and talk about, finances with that. So yeah.
Listen, if a part of me feels like these men want these ride or die. The code word for ride or die is no matter what I do, be dumb and still take care of me. That's how I feel, because all these complaints about women are this and that. And look at Constance, said she bought him a house. She did all this. All he got to, she even gave him spousal support. Take the spousal support money and pay the mortgage.
Yeah, the court didn't tell me to give him spousal support. I just want to make sure he was set up nice.
Like his mama. Like his mama. Like
yeah.
It was kind of like
by the way, I took care of his mama's bills to the day she died too. We weren't even together.
What? You just a generosity.
I love
it. Look
you
at you.
She
did adopt him. Constance was his mama, girl.
He was like this child.
Yes. Oh my God. All right. So Constance, that was, I mean, I don't even know.
Pray for me. Y'all just in the audience, pray for me. Pray that this don't hit my credit before I close on this house, y'all. Pray. That's all I know.
Let's just say a prayer. Let's just say
a
prayer.
Let's say a prayer. So, but there must have been some red flags, right? There must have been some red flags in the situation. And I actually want to pivot to Joe, right? Because we don't want to just scare everybody about financial deception, even though most of us have been through it because it's such a high percentage, right? But I'm sure there's some telltale signs that, oh, this woman or this, ninja might be hiding some money from me, or there's some financial deception red flag. So our expert therapist, Joe, can you share with the audience some kind of like financial deception red flags, even yellow flags, if you have them, so that people don't end up on Six Flags? What Constance saying? Red flags start feeling like Six Flags.
You feeling the ninja? You be like, wee! The red flags is all around. You just waving them with them.
It gets fuzzy. It gets fuzzy.
Stop saying that. Okay. First, let me say that I have seen an equal amount of both sides doing this. You know, there's
Joe
plenty
always
of.
saving the man. Joe
I
always
got to, I got
Go ahead,
to,
go ahead,
because
Joe. It's all right.
I
It's all
got
right,
Okay,
to.
Joe.
she be shopping. She shop. Oh, she be shopping. Is that what you gonna say? Because they be
No,
shopping. That's what you gonna say, Joe. Oh, we heard that one before.
I can't stand you. What I just want to be clear that I've seen is on you know, women coming into relationships too, lying about what they actually want to do with themselves. Like, if you want to be a stay-at-home person, you know, if that's your ultimate goal, then you need to be upfront about that type of stuff, and then not, you know, not try to, you know, wiggle your way into you know, stay at home situation. You know, come up front with that. But when you talk about red flags, here's the biggest red flag that I noticed inside of these sessions. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. When you start moving towards a financial conversation, people start getting tight, and I've seen this firsthand live. You know, people get frustrated, people get angry. So I know already, okay, we not on the same page with this stuff. You don't want to talk about it. And then you don't want to, you know, get on any type of wavelength with each other about how you want these financial situations to go. Big red flag, and that's really the only red flag. They stay away from it. You
Is
know,
it even between both sexes, or do you notice one sex more than the other?
it's
Men,
very even. It's
men,
very even. It's
I
very even.
men.
What you say,
How
Constance?
many sessions you did, Constance? Because I want to.
I just in my spirit, I felt that it
How
was
many
men. It was
sessions?
my
Oh,
spirit.
okay. All right. I just want to know. I want to know because I didn't see you. I didn't see you in none of my
I'm
classes.
just saying. I know
Woo!
it's men. I know it's
Say in
y'all.
her armchair experience.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
armchair. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so
Stop
Marlo,
watching
you
Tyler Perry films. All right, and it
oh
really.
oh
It's the men. That's right. Tyler Perry.
listen. Tara apparently reflect what the template: bad man, good woman,
Long
abuse,
suffering woman.
and a savior coming along. But all right, Mahler, I actually want to talk to you because you mentioned that in your marriage there was financial deception because, you know, he was paying the side chick. And Marlo, we might need you to come to After Dark tonight because the topic is side chick. So
That's why I told you I'm gonna take a nap.
listen, take a nap and come through. But all right, in the side chick situation, because I know a lot of women watching now, were there any signs before you start doing that Russian doll, finding out all the other lies? Were there any signs before that maybe you missed or you didn't pay attention to that are red flags for our viewers to look out for?
Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm, Disney, all the amusement parks.
Not all of them. Not all of
roller
them.
coaster, right? There were a lot, but my ex and I have been together since I was 16. Our senior year in high school, we started dating, right? So we went through all the growing pains together. I'm the type of person, a little cheating. I expect a little cheating, right? New Orleans is a toxic place. That's where we were. That's where we married. Everybody loves to party and drink and be in
Gator
excess.
boots and a pinta Gucci suit.
So yeah, so I expect a little finagling, right? But the money was really the problem, right? Because now your finagling has gone from just recreation for you to where it's causing me to dip into my private pot to care for expenses that we incur as a family, right? And that's no problem if you're not working, because we've gone through layoffs. He's worked in those docks that everybody was talking about a few weeks ago. So we've gone through layoffs and all sorts of things, shortages of work, bad weather. So sometimes you do have to pick up the slack for your partner in a relationship. But when I looked, and you didn't even have the decency to say, yo, I'm gonna just have to give you cash because they only letting us do one direct deposit, which is a damn lie, first of all. Second of all, you got to go check the box and you got to sign your signature to say that you don't want to have that direct deposit, you know. So you just playing me like I'm stupid. So it was just really the disrespect paired with the taking away from my kids. Honey, you're gonna have to go pay some rent, and we're gonna see how y'all gonna go eat dinners and go on these little excursions or whatever y'all got going on. We're gonna see how you do it when you gotta pay your own bills, because you gotta slide.
But now you got to do life with this person.
Bye.
Yeah.
And I think they are. So happy for them.
Listen. You know, this is the other thing I noticed too. A lot of men be complaining about having to pay women bills and stuff. But a side chick be getting bills, getting trips, getting all kind of money paid for. Look at Joe. Joe, I'm gonna come to you next. I'm sure you have
side chick. Do I need to sign up to be a side chick? Is that what it is?
It sounds like it.
Please come on to After Dark
good
tonight
living.
because we are talking about side chicks.
What I got to do for it? What I got to do for it?
Nothing.
Yeah. Listen, we taking notes. We taking notes.
Bare minimum. The bare minimum, except get ready to accept gifts on what is it, February?
Day
what
after
is that?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, the 15th. December 26th.
Christmas. Day after Valentine's Day.
There's a little delay on the gift.
Day after Mother's Day.
Had that plate ready. Had that plate ready the Friday after Thanksgiving. Just that's all you gotta do.
The next day.
Do. I'm with it.
At least you ain't gotta cook. You ain't gotta do that whole spread. At least you can relax. Anyway, we'll get more into side chicks getting paid after this commercial break.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
All right, get your money right. Flynubianmoney.com, honey. So, all right. So the side chick getting paid. Okay, side chicks rising up. Yo, I know you have counseled couples that have gone through infidelity, and maybe some men gonna have some side families, some side chicks. Are the side chicks getting paid like that?
No, listen, I've counseled the side chicks, not just only the families with the side chicks, but I've seen it all. I've seen the side dudes. I've seen the couples where the woman was being unfaithful. I've seen it all. But I think it's more interesting.
Women are unfaithful, Joe.
Oh yeah, that definitely happens. They're just better at it. So no, the side chicks. Come on, Tina. The side chicks, man, they are ultra delusional most of the time. You know what I mean? So it's the ones that understand that, that's their role. I feel like those are the ones that sustain that lifestyle much better. It's the ones that be thinking that, they're gonna change and they're gonna elevate, get promoted. Those are the ones that that deal with the stress.
Like you knew what the job was when you took it. Now you want to go kill it.
Yeah, it's like you. So I've seen it. I've seen like someone come into a session and be mad about their partner doing this and doing that and doing that, and I hit them with but you understood, right? Like, but you understood, right?
Listen, they want their sugar daddy to be their main man, honey. They don't understand the role.
Now you didn't fell in love. No, that's why you gotta vet the side.
But even if you are in a relationship with someone, even if you are the main chick or the girlfriend, you can still be kind of treated like a side chick and not get anything. And that was the case in this viral sensational story with Risa Tisa. And we're going to go into that video right now. She explains the financial deception that she experienced.
It was the effort to really make me believe that he was going to get this. Just for him to fuck with me. The effort in taking me to all these homes to see my face light up as a woman who grew up on welfare, to be able to walk into these 4 and 5 bedroom homes knowing that he didn't have any money to buy it. Imagine if he had just been honest and said, hey, I like in my free time to go to open houses and just see how the other people live. Imagine if he had just said that versus wasting not only my time, but the wasting the time of the realtors who did nothing wrong. There's a level of cruelty to my ex-husband that I had never experienced before. And God knows, I pray I never experience it again. That's the word that comes to mind when I think of him. He is cruel and it wasn't just me, he did it to the ex-wife. So do I trust? No. I trust the people who were in my life before him. If we were friends or if we were in a relationship or whatever and I knew you before him, I trust you explicitly. But if you're somebody I just met, I don't trust you. I don't. There's no point in me getting on here and saying and making it seem like, oh, I'm so strong, I'm so brave. I struggle big time. Because on one hand, I want to like someone. On the other hand, I'm immediately thinking, what if it's a repeat? And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I can't go through that again. I can't. Um, every single thing in our relationship was a lie. It took me a while to realize every single day this man lied to me. Every single day he lied to me.
Listen, that was such a tragic story, and I remember the world was captivated by Risa Tisa at the time. Tiara, I know that. What were your thoughts when you watched the video? Because she expressed something about finally feeling like it was time for her to receive the things that she desired, and he kind of got off on seeing her reactions and knowing that none of that was going to happen. What do you think about financial deception on that level?
Yeah, that's next level. I think that there's something mentally wrong, and Dr. Joe can speak to this. That sometimes, like, people really have mental health issues. And I read a book. It's called Psychopath Free, and I read it around the time that I dealt with someone who I think was a legit psychopath. But I read basically it was saying that 65% of the people walking the world are on the spectrum, and so it just reminded me that everyone
Of
isn't
what?
the spectrum of like psychopath, from psychopath empath down to like narcissists and all of the
Wait,
things,
what
like all,
percentage? 65?
huh, like it was
65%?
like 65%, yeah, of people walking around have
I
some
give
are
up.
on some form of the spectrum. Dr. Joe, you can confirm this or deny this, but that's what the book said, right? And so it just kind of put things in perspective, because just to know that, like, as an empath or someone that feels, or someone that, like, I'm not trying to say I'm gullible, but I definitely be like, no, he's telling the truth.
Girl, me too.
Listen, next level. I'm talking about, I dated, I actually, like, was involved with someone who, not only did they lie, it was like they lied, like, was like embezzling money, millions of dollars from other people too, right? So it wasn't even like he was living his life in a penthouse and doing all these things, chartering private jets, all this stuff, and it was a lie. Everything he was saying was a lie, and I was on the jet like, okay, this is cool, and it really wasn't. It really was like, like he fled, and I found out that there was like like he was sued by all of these companies for just being a liar. And so I know that I saw the red flags, but
Listen.
it got fuzzy.
Victimization.
She
It
was on
got
that green
Girl.
flag
fuzzy.
with the red
No,
flag, so it
no,
was fine.
it
Man, my
wasn't.
girl
And you know what?
auditioning for
In this
The word of the
situation,
day.
it wasn't stigmatization in this situation. I wasn't stigmatized in this situation. I literally was just like, it gotta be true, because everywhere we go, and everybody is eating everybody is in it. Like, they believed it. Like, somebody who can charter a plane and live in a penthouse, and everybody was buying it, is my point, until the gig was up and he had to, like, flee. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just me. I wasn't, I mean, but
He
I
just
mean, I
living
was
a
caught
different
up.
life.
I'm just saying, it be next level lying. People be next level lying. I understand that somebody can take you on a ride and you'd be like, wow, this is really amazing. And I'm not really sure what that is, or like, and again, Joe, you can help me out with this. Like, why people, like, what in them, like, what deficiency is in them that makes them feel like I gotta lie like this
A
in order.
pathological liar, Joe. So, Joe, what the therapist? I know you studied. Okay, you got your master's, everything. What
I
makes
need to be therapized, Joe. What?
next level pathological liars that men, sometimes women, men do? Can you explain what is cooking up in that membrane, honey, for this to happen?
Let me start with the situation that T just brought up. Okay, we all are geniuses in some way. You know, some of us are
Really?
fortunate enough to tap into that genius, and some of us never get there. So what that is a genius level it's genius level
Deception.
deception. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's just genius level. So I mean, we're not talking about a run of the mill, normal type of liar. That's genius level. So anybody that has the ability to pull that kind of stuff off is on another playing field. But lying in itself is a form of protection. That's all. People lie to protect themselves because they cannot achieve their goals, or they don't believe that they can achieve their goals by telling the truth. So you get where you got to get, because the truth is embarrassing to you or it's shameful to you. You know what I mean? Why would I, if I'm ashamed to say that, I don't have any money, or I'm not very good in bed, or I'm gonna lie about these things in order to achieve my objective, which is to reel you in, you know, and get over on you.
Yeah, and I feel like that is such a foul thing to do because what they're hoping for is for you to build an emotional attachment. So when you find the truth, you still stick around. But me, I be out the door, honey. You tell me day 1 or day 50, if it's something messed up, like don't think I'm just gonna overlook that and just stay with you because I got feelings. I'm not digmatized like Constance be saying. Like I will get my things and bounce, honey.
But
So
see, the thing about it is, I really, really, what I don't want to say I believe. I have observed. I'm not going to say I believe. It's not my opinion. I have observed so many people catch these type of lies, or these little droplets, these little hints, these little red flags, as you say, and they ignore them every single time. When we get to into these sessions and we going back and forth, I always get to the point, especially with women, like, so you saw this, it made you feel a way, and you ignored it. Talk to me about why you're doing that. What is it about you that makes you or allows you to move past your own understanding of life to accept things into your space that do not work for you? And that's when we get to finding out about the woman having her own emotional triggers and her own trauma, and her own things going on that just kind of allowed her to ignore this stuff, you
I
know.
think women, it's the power of the fantasy, right? The power of the fantasy that we have sometimes that we will overlook a lot of things, just like in the Risa Tisa example, because her dude lied to her about everything: job title, social security number, criminal record, family history, marriage, everything. He thought he was claimed to be an executive. He was a forklift
But let me tell
operator.
you, the cold one was the fake calls to his brother every day. The calls,
Ooh,
he had
I
no
remember that one.
conversations and was like, babe, my brother said, oh boy, he crazy. He said this. Oh, babe, John said hi. I mean, this man was laughing and just acting like they were on the phone having now that is diabolical.
That's a
That shit is,
mental health. That gotta
that
be a
is
mental
diabolical.
health thing.
I've been like, he could have killed me. I mean, because if you're that
Yes.
diabolical, like, what else are you
Yes.
capable of?
All right,
Yes.
so Joe, what does
Whole
that fall under?
conversation.
Is that what diagnosis is that?
Psychopath.
Go
Shit,
ahead.
psychopath.
That's a
DSV.
What you need me for? You got
Yeah, DD
Constance over there.
five.
She took
Mhm.
all the same
Psychopath.
courses.
Listen, I diagnosed it. I diagnosed it.
What you
But
need me for?
let me tell you, my girlfriend's boyfriend, he was such a fucking liar. Oh my god, he lied about so much. But he lied about having a job. He never wanted to go to work. So he would leave every day, come home, and tell her about his day at work, and had characters and everything. Like, oh, and then, oh my god, you should have seen that such as nigga, and he would just go get money from his parents and then, help pay the bills. And his parents enabled that for years.
So
Wow.
I would
Crazy.
bet if you sat that person down and like dug into their past, all of that started from somewhere. It all started from some type of traumatic event that
Mhm.
caused. Now that doesn't excuse anybody from accountability, but when that high level stuff goes on, yeah, that is triggered from something deep. Something happened to that person that started making them believe that they had to create a whole another facade in order to exist in anybody's space. But again, let
But
me say,
Dr. Joe, we all don't need, like, do we have to be like walking DSMV manuals at this point to like diagnose people? Because it's just like
no, all
I
you
feel like
have to
all of us
do,
have had
That is
these
scary.
fraudulent stories, specifically. Like Marlo, I'm sure you've had like a story like that or something similar to a man deceiving you on that level.
Oh, Marlo.
I definitely, I mean, but I'm the type of person,
Mhm.
my BS meter is pretty high,
Come
which
on.
is why, if I'm being honest, I'm saying I expect a little cheating, you do a little booty touching,
Hold on.
you might do, because
Hold
Wait,
on.
you expect
y'all
your man to
don't
cheat? Oh, let's
y'all don't
unpack that.
understand the toxicity of undeveloped New Orleans brains. Y'all don't, and unless you met them, you don't know them. Because I don't want to put my friend business in the street, but the gentleman in question in Tiara's story is a New Orleanian. So look
He is a
how my
New
sis is smoking
girl.
Oh,
fake
is he? Was he
cigarettes,
from
y'all.
Girl, he was
He
from
got a
Hollywood.
smoking fake cigarettes, y'all.
That should
The
have been the
Girl,
first
level
thing. I thought he was from Hollywood. If you told me he was from
he's
Hollywood,
from
I'd have
New
believed you.
Orleans,
the
girl.
level of 504 deception is real, y'all. So I in my mind, I've decided things that I would accept and things I wouldn't accept. So you poking a little something, long as we have agreements, I'm gonna look the other way. I'm not gonna look the other way on money, because now you playing me 2 times. We don't like to be played. Feel played, bust a head. That's what we say over there. So
Look at
Come
Joe
gangsta
say.
love. Here
to
comes
keep me
gangsta
out,
love.
to keep me out of the women's prison, I remove myself from that. But on the other hand, I have had Negroes come up to me, and this fool ain't got no job. This fool is selling you a bill of goods. He look good, he sound good, but you always have to do your due diligence. And I made up my mind after me and my ex separated, because we were so interconnected, our families, our friendships, we went to high school together. I made up my mind, you got one lie, sucker. One lie.
Sucker.
And after that, you tell another half a lie, I'm out of there. I'm blocking you on everything. Listen, that fool almost had my good sis. I was worried watching American Greed, thinking she was gonna have to testify on American Greed. Like, that's how deep and crazy it was. Y'all do not understand.
Marlo was there.
I
I
was
dragged
there.
her into all of
What's so
it.
crazy is I was so impressed by this Negro. I was on a board that did a tech conference. I had this Negro speak. He pledged a fake $50,000 at my event, y'all.
No, really?
All right, Joe. What diagnosis is that, Joe? What diagnosis is that?
Leave me.
I need y'all to understand.
The
Yeah, leave me
level.
alone.
Damnation is real, okay?
The level.
Where do y'all
Y'all.
find
That
these
fool
dudes?
stood out.
I know.
Wait,
Hold
not
on.
only did
Hold
he
on.
pledge, he was the first pledge. He challenged other people in the room to match his fake pledge, y'all. It was crazy.
Y'all, listen. I forgot about that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Go ahead, Tiara.
Wait a
Listen,
minute.
look, wait. Note to self, stay away from New Orleans Negroes. Okay, got it.
I got 50.
What? No gator
I got
boots, no
50.
Pentagon Gucci shoes for you.
We don't play by y'all rules, baby. Don't come to the swamp if you ain't ready to play.
I'm not. I'm staying away. The
All right,
moment
so
a man
Tiara.
tells me he's
All
from
right,
New
this
Orleans,
was the guy you was
I'm running
dating
the other way.
with that 50K check.
And this is a young man that I knew. Yes.
The same man that you was talking about with the jet.
Yes,
Okay.
this is him. Yeah, I mean, there was just so many things. I knew that when
Look at Joe's face.
I knew that when we were in the office and he had fled, and the CFO came to me. Now this is the CFO. The CFO came to me and said, he says that you got the checks. I said, you are the CFO. Why would I have the checks? Just work here. He was I mean, when I said, I mean, yeah, and I think the way I was able to be deceived is because I had known this person for 20 years first, right? So
Oh, wow.
we had there was history, and we had a really good rapport in college, but even then, he was very smart, obviously, y'all, and I don't know. I think it reminds me of like we said Wolf of Wall Street, but it was just really like the way he was able to deceive everybody, not just
American
me.
Greed.
I mean, it was like it was next level.
Like
But
a Tinder swindler. But I would
not
think
even
that he even
girl.
believed himself. Like I would think that there must have been something in him to make him believe that he was really all those things. He had to have some level of like psychosis, because to walk in that with the confidence.
Yeah. I mean, y'all, like he could talk
Amazing.
his way, but here's the thing, he had an answer for everything. And so even if you thought that there was red flags, he just was so quick with a lie. And what startled me is like there's people like this that walk the earth every day. Now, like you
Right,
said,
right.
it's
People
not
just be out here lying. It's like, what?
not to this level, but you know, people like me is like, oh my God. And if everything kind of adds up, okay, penthouse check. You have you see all the material things, and you're like, it
Private
gotta
jet.
be. And we're
Yeah.
flying all over the place. We're doing business. I'm talking about this is the only person that I know that was able to walk into Procter and Gamble and buy one of their brands. He was able to buy a brand from Procter and like for $50 million,
Scam the
right?
hell out of them,
They
girl.
sold him. He bought one of their. They never do that. This person was able to lie to them and tell them. So I'm just saying, like he was able
Oh, so
to.
he needed a whole documentary done
He was
on
a con
him. He
man.
need a
I mean, it was
Netflix
a con.
special.
He was a con
This type
man, and he was
of
professional. And so
Sierra, you need to write that screenplay.
I
yeah.
know. I tried to. I sold. I mean, I pitched it to somebody. He was like, "Wow, that's crazy." You know, I pitched it. I pitched it to Morris Chestnut once, and he was like, "And what happened?" I was like, "Well, this is what happened." So, like,
Listen.
I mean,
Okay,
y'all, it's a
so
real
I
situation.
mean, listen, we're gonna go into
Child.
what's gonna happen as far as how dealing with people moving forward. We've heard all these crazy stories about mostly about these men, but mostly about the men doing all kind of financial deception. But how should you move financially with a partner? Do you get joint accounts? Do you not get joint accounts? We're gonna look into this right after our commercial break.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes, yes, yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and review so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
Okay, so we have heard all kind of crazy stories, all kind of 50K pledges, bought a company, gator boots to the pin down Gucci suit, all kind of things, right? But what should we do, or how should we proceed with relationships to financially protect ourselves? What are the recommended steps to combine finances and to move financially with a partner? Now, Joe, we're gonna ask you, Joe. We're going to ask you, the therapist. I'm sure you've done a lot of couples counseling. What do you recommend people who are looking to be partnered, how they should approach their finances?
So I'm gonna speak from a personal level on this, because I got 17 of them things married, and we didn't went through every scenario that you can go through with trying to manage finances. And I think what we found is best for us is even before we heard it from Steve Harvey. I know we're gonna get to that clip later, but um, you got to have a joint account, and you got to have your own personal account. Because you got to be able to do what you got to do without feeling guilty or ashamed. I don't believe. I mean, we tried to. Hey, we got our separate accounts, and then we'll just um, the joint account stay empty, and you put your half in, and I put my half in, and we just pay the bills like that. No, that's not a partnership at all, in my opinion. I know whoever you can make that work, you make the work. But I feel like what I mean. You have your joint account, and you just keep whatever you need for yourself in your personal account and put the rest of it up in there, and then it's all one pool of money. We're not keeping track of it. We ain't, you don't put your 50K in. I throw my little $10 in later and say we got 50,000 and $10. That's
Listen, you know what? That's a nice approach, Joe. I'm not even gonna lie, that's a nice approach. But Steve Harvey has provided a strategy and solution that he does for, I guess, his marriage. So we'll take a look at that.
A financial planner taught this to me, and it changed everything for me. Every married couple should have 4 bank accounts. You should have a joint bank account. Out of that account, you pay all the household expenses and bills. After that's paid, you decide which percentage of that money should go into a savings account. In that savings account, it must require both of your signatures to move the money. Then you have a personal account and he has a personal account. He's not allowed to tell you what to do with your personal money. You're not allowed to tell him what to do with his personal money. Because even though you're married and you're a union, you still have to maintain some form of individuality so you can feel like a human being, you know.
Listen, now it's so interesting because my parents just throw everything in a joint account and that's how they operate. And they've been married for 40 years, so I guess it works for them. But Constance, what do you recommend as the wealth activist? Do you recommend Steve's strategy or do you recommend something else?
Here we go.
Oh, no,
Joe looking at you, Constance.
Oh, this is where I need to speak up. Stop speaking up in your lane. Is that what you're saying, Joe? Is that what you're saying?
Here we go. Yeah, no, go ahead. Do your thing.
Your lane. Is that what you're saying?
Go talk to us.
I mean, because Constance, you were married for 132 years, so
yeah.
And you were the breadwinner. We know that too.
Yeah, so my perspective is a little bit different. Like the way I would move today is much different, but it's a different thing because I don't even think I would get married. But there's
okay. To speak to that, tell us what you were doing before and during your marriage, and then tell us what you do now post marriage.
Okay, so during the marriage we had a joint account, so all the money was in there. But here's my thing in my situation, like he was a frivolous spender, and so I would just I was so crazy because instead of me like trying to get him on task with the spending, I would just be like, I just don't feel like arguing. Let me just go and make more money. And that's how I looked at things. So I just went out and just made more money so I wouldn't have to trip off of the spending.
Constance, I feel like you're the man a lot of us want.
You are. Like, you are
listen,
so,
let me tell you something.
like,
my sister was like, I need a nigga like you. She said it a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, because I knew I had the capacity to make more money. Now, today it's a little bit different, but here's what I would say, because you definitely need some investment accounts. I was just having a conversation with my son last night about, saving and how you set up your money and how you set up your accounts. You got to have different types of account that yield compounded interest. I wouldn't put all my stuff in a regular bank account that has 0.23% interest. So I have a little bit of money over there, but then I would have it in some other investment vehicles with us as the beneficiary, that's yielding compounded interest. So I had my son do an exercise, Chat GPT, you can work everything through Chat GPT. So I said, do this, you invest, I think $100 a month for the next 30 years, and you're putting it in a savings account and you're yielding 0.23% interest. What is your return? And he told me. And then I said, now do it with compounded interest in this vehicle with 5% a month and compounded interest. And it was a whole $50,000 more. So I think we just need to do better with the way that we're saving our money. Black people need to use different investment vehicles to be able to generate more money within the same time frame. And so that's, I think, what we need to really learn is just, different investment strategies.
So now you would not do a joint account with any future partner. Is that what you're saying?
Unless he makes a hell of a lot more than me. If he makes a hell of a lot more than me, then yes. But right now, no, the nigga got to have his own account.
Marlo, what is the strategy for you in partnership? Are you doing joint only or joint and separate?
Well, we are not married, so our finances are definitely separate, but we do intentionally talk about money honestly, right? I do talk about my overspending on acai bowls and the Starbucks, right? I wish I could leave those random 5, 10. Right? So we both make a conscious effort, because between us we have 3 marriages. He married the same person twice, so we crazy, right? there is just a transparency that we're trying to practice, but we definitely keep our money separate. And when there are things that we both want that are together things, trips, or, you know, things for the house, we sit down and we have, you know, these very strange to me adult conversations about where the money is and what we should get and what it costs. And it's all very unfamiliar to me because, like I said before, my first husband was funny money relationship. Rob Peter to pay Paul was the name of the household. And so he picked up on that from his mom, right? And the way that she managed the household expenses and money. So, you know, we just doing a new thing over here. We doing something that neither of us have done, and just trying to forge a new path. But I don't know if I take relationship advice from Steve Harvey because Marjorie ain't even got no job. So
Come on now.
where her money coming from?
Come on now.
Listen. Stop
He
hating on
good.
Marge.
Let me tell you something. He's funding all of them accounts. His, her, theirs, everybody's.
There's but one
Exactly.
depositor, Steve. So you're delusional. It's fine. You're all a little delulu is the point.
But he also said he keep a separate account, so just in case he gotta, you know, pay somebody else. But anyway, Tiara, I want as a single woman dating in these streets, what would you find as ideal for you? Would you want to do a joint account, or would you do joint and separate, or would you just keep things separate? And also consider, would that be the same if he makes more than you or makes less than you?
Yeah, I think if we were in a relationship, if we're married, it's a little different, but we're talking about just being in a relationship. And unfortunately, the men that I have bumped into, if they have not been the Wolf of Wall Street, clearly making fake $50,000 pledges, I've bumped into a man that needs to live on my couch at some point. Like, you know, like, well, I mean,
Extremes.
my money is locked up in my dog ate my money, and so we gotta, like, it would just be, it's that. So no artists and no, like, there's certain things I just won't do, right? But you're asking about joint accounts. I think if we're married and it's a good man, you know, a good man who is fiscally responsible. I mean, I have met men who are responsible. It just really depends on him and, you know, what his views on finances are, and how much he makes. I don't know. Once you get married, I don't know if that matters so much, but he definitely has to have, you know, income and a job, and, you know, he has to have all the things. So I guess my answer to that is, like, I'm not so stuck on like how much he makes, but he definitely has to bring something in, and it has to make sense. It just would have
So
to
are
make
you
sense.
doing joint account only, or would you retain a separate account for yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna always have a separate account. Like, I don't want to feel like, I mean, I think we should both have separate accounts. I like the idea of that. Like, so, like, you know, Dr. Joe said, I don't have to be, neither one of us have to come back to the account feeling shame. I mean, I work hard every single day. I should have access to a certain amount of money. I know one of my cousins used to have to ask my her boyfriend for, or her fiance for, like, money to get pads and stuff like that, because he just, like, held all the money. And so I just couldn't.
Yeah, I wish the
I'd
hell
be
I
like, hey
would.
girl, want to go to Vegas this weekend? It'd be like, I don't know, I have to ask
Hell no.
Rodney. I'd be
And she
like,
worked too? She worked too?
she wasn't working.
Oh, well, there's
Yeah.
that.
So
But I need to ask Marlo a question. So,
yeah.
Marlo, when the man had the pledge, did other people did the other was other people contributing because he kind of prompted that? Like, did it help?
Yeah, it actually energized the room. That's what's so
Yeah.
crazy about people who lie. It really energized the room.
That's what he wanted to do, though.
Yeah.
Six
This was the
Flags.
first. Look, it was the
Man.
first session of the conference,
That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted to do.
and
That was
he
the
fully.
intention.
The lie is
Tiara, I see
entertaining,
Tiara
honey.
over in the side, like Tiara's like beckoning for me to come over by them, and so I step away from the stage and go see what he's talking about. He's like, let him know I want to make a $50,000. I was like, oh, I sure will. And it really brought energy to the room, and it made the other entrepreneurs in the room want to get involved. It lit up all the panels from there. I mean, it really, listen, that fake shit.
This guy would
got
have
the whole
charisma.
party jumping, y'all.
He
It got the
did.
whole party jumping.
I
And
love
then when
it.
they called me because I worked at the company for the pledge, he was like, Well, I just have to think about this because I was looking at her website and he got something for everything. I was looking at the website and I saw that, I would have to see a breakdown of where they're putting the funds because it really just doesn't align with what I feel like we're doing at this time. I mean, I looked it up and I saw that there was some misappropriation potentially. Like he just made up some shit and I was like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, he said he don't want to give y'all the money. But
And
really,
meanwhile, her financials have to be so tight because she gets grants from the state and from the city. And when you get government grants, you got to have your shit really buttoned up because they go through and audit that stuff all the time. So listen,
Is he in prison?
the man was
no,
crazy.
he slid out of
Watch
it.
her hear
He's
from
not in jail.
Tyler Perry gonna come out with this story. Tyler Perry is watching, and he gonna come out
He
with
was
this story.
sued. That he was sued. I think there was like at least like 30 counts of fraud, and he's still not in jail.
So is he still
He
scamming?
filed bankruptcy. He filed bankruptcy, and he was a lawyer. I mean, he was a lawyer. He didn't.
Did he lose his law license?
I want to learn how to
Did he lose his law license?
I don't know. But
is he still scamming, Marlo?
I believe
he got
another. He went to.
How else he gonna get the money for the next scam if he's scamming right now?
He scam jam, and I saw he had a because I looked him up, and he had an article.
Yeah, he did have that article.
It was in
about
Forbes, right?
His nonprofit organization or something.
Was it?
What's his name?
Like
what's his name? We want to look him
I'm not.
up.
Yeah, I can't share that information.
I'm gonna type in New Orleans scammer.
Yeah.
But listen, if you ever run across a guy that is also a lawyer and in finance, hit me and Tiara up, and we're gonna look at a picture and tell you if it's a go or not.
Baby.
I mean, that he wasn't scared to get his law license taken.
He wasn't scared of nothing.
Clearly,
ma'am. $50.
So
I wouldn't make a $5 pledge if I didn't have the hot five in my pocket.
Right.
This man said $1 50,000 $1 bills he would give.
Here's the thing. He walked into one of the biggest law firms in New York and just I think there's something about like he really inspired me, really, like not to be a liar, but just like to think a little bigger and just to be confident in the things that I want, because he walked into the biggest law firm and just like was like he was supposed to be there, and they bought it. Everybody bought it. P&G bought it. They bought it until he defaulted on the loan for he bought Joy, y'all. And let me just be honest. He bought Joy, the dishwashing liquid from P&G. It wasn't like that and Cream Suds. Those were the accounts that we took over. That was what I was working on.
That's what she was working on.
That's what I was working on.
Listen, she had me sucked in a little bit. I was like, girl, I'm gonna be on American Greed too. We all about to be here telling these white folks our business. Like, why?
So anyway,
but you know what though, it will catch up with him eventually. That's why I understand why brilliant people like that don't just do things the right way, because they can get it legitimately. It may take a little bit longer, but why
it's gonna take longer?
Yeah, it will, but it will. It's gonna catch up with you. It will.
That level of deception can get you all the way to the highest office in the land. So,
and we know.
So,
inspiration, honey.
That's
with
true.
Repercussions.
Donald Trump.
That's true. Because
So,
karma ain't caught up to him yet.
Listen, we have discussed the joys of scamming and all the different financial infidelity. Apparently, you could ride. America is built on scamming. If we want to look at that, slavery was a whole scam. But anyway, I want to congratulate all of you guys for being so open, for sharing all these juicy stories. I feel like we have a couple books in the works from everything that we've heard from today. Share with us your final thoughts, what you want the audience to leave with on the topic of financial deception and where the good people can find you. We're going to start off with our New Orleans, Nola Bay, Marlo. Where can the good people find you, and share your final thoughts with us?
So my final thoughts are, even if you find yourself in a situation where there is financial infidelity, you can bounce back. You don't have to be stuck in it, but you do have to be vigilant, and you do have to take care of yourself. You can find me on the internet. I create content, video, and written under my name, Marlo Layson. I also am on Instagram. You can find me at Ora Marlo. That is my first name backward forward, little underscore on the end. And that's all I got, y'all. Don't get scammed, but if you do, pick up the pieces and try again, like the good sister Leah said.
Listen, such good advice. Joe, I know we beat you up a little bit today per usual, but Joe's a G, okay? Joe can take it. What are your final thoughts that you want to share with the audience, and where can the good people find you?
Really quick, I'll just say that no emotion is meant to get pushed away. So if you're feeling something, listen to that and act on it. And in the context of what we're talking about right now, if something doesn't feel right to you, if you feel like it's making you uncomfortable, you need to pursue that and get some understanding of why it's making you uncomfortable instead of ignoring it. Those flags are put in front of you for a reason, and the communication will save you from a lot of grief and heartache on the back end. And if you find yourself constantly in these situations, I know a lot of y'all not gonna like this, but you gotta date better people, you know. And when I say that, I say, identify who you are, be open, and put your authentic self forward, and those people will come to you. The people that are for you will come to you. That sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So find me. I need to get my followers up. I'm just in this space new, so I need to get my followers up. So my Instagram is jcorley80, and you can catch me on my website as well at realuconsulting.com.
All right. Hello, Cool Joe has shared a word with us. That's his nickname. Hello, Cool Joe.
Tina.
Tiara, our scam detector goddess, our future playwright for this movie that I am waiting on, or that Tyler Perry might pick up.
That's a movie.
No, I definitely like after I rapped, I definitely I'm a screenwriter. That's what I do in life. But I definitely have pitched this project to people. It is packaged, it is ready to go. So if somebody on here is watching,
get it
in real life. In real life. All jokes aside, it's a series. But I would just say that, like the good doctor said, you have to just pay more attention to red flags. I think in those moments, there was something about me that just wanted to believe in what I was seeing. And unfortunately, it got fuzzy. It got fuzzy, Joe. It got fuzzy. I couldn't see. When things get fuzzy, I mean, now obviously I can hear better, I can see better, I understand what manipulation looks like. And sometimes we just have to go through those things to grow through them. If you've never experienced them, then you don't know what they look like. So in the middle of it, it just looks like, I know this doesn't feel right. There's something about this. Like, why would he, as an actress, like one day he was like, I just need you to act like an old lady. I was like, what? But I was already in it. He was like, yeah, what happened was, and then there were so many moments where I was just like, this is wrong. But I had already relocated. I had already taken the position and moved to another city and did all the things. So I was committed. Thank God that he protects fools and babies, because I was definitely a fool. and I was able to, be protected, and I was able to, disassociate myself at the right time. So I would just say, the people watching, just like if you are seeing some things in your situation, in your partnership, where you're seeing things come up less, and people are lying to you, just listen to that little voice in you. Trust yourself, trust your gut. And you can find me anywhere on the internet at Miss Black Hollywood. That's MSBLACK Hollywood. And yeah, get in touch with me. I'm out here.
Listen, that was such good information. I can't wait for the series to come out, honey.
Yeah.
So my final thoughts are this, right? Financial deception.
I don't get no final thoughts.
Oh. I'm sorry. How could I dare forget about Constance, the queen, honey, wealth activist?
So here's my final thoughts. I don't know. Shit be fucked up because niggas be acting crazy. Where can you find me? Everywhere I am Constance Carter.
I low-key thought Constance was going to say ninjas gonna ninja. I really thought she was going to say that as her final thought. Look at Joe. Joe is always stressed when he does the
That
kind of
was for a
Joe
McFact.
out.
That was for a McFact.
Mhm.
Specifically for you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, final thoughts are this. Ninjas go ninja. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not really, but I'm just kidding. So I want you guys to know, especially as a CPA and wealth expert, that financial deception is something that is occurring to a lot of us. Almost half of us will experience it at some point in the relationship. What you need to do is to have some form of financial transparency within your partners. Look at pay stubs, IRS transcripts, credit reports. Those are the first steps into finding out someone's financial history. If you are in a relationship, even in the dating stage, and you have financial conversations, and that person backs away or is tight, like Joe says, or has some apprehension with talking about it, I would say, slow down on that relationship. It's at least a yellow flag. And to get to the crux of why that person might be behaving that way doesn't necessarily mean they're hiding anything, but it could point to financial trauma of their past or upbringing. And you also want to vet for financial compatibility when you have a partner. All right. My name is Athena Gardner. I'm a CPA, owner of We Wealth Women. You can find me at We Wealth Women on all social media platforms. Listen to me on the We Wealth Women podcast and head to my website, wewealthwomen.com. Tiara.
Athena, I have a question for Constance. Constance, you mentioned pulling an IRS report. Do you just call the IRS? Can you call them and say, like, I want to ask about my partner, even if you don't have, how do you do that?
How do you pull an IRS transcript? So you go online.
Yeah.
So you go to online and you pull a 4506T. That's a tax transcript, and you can get a copy of it. But you got to have a social security number.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. So you do have to have that. The other thing is, if he would have went on the loan, the tax transcript would have popped up as well. So they would have found that lien on the
Joe,
tax.
why are you looking stressed?
Why are you looking like that, Joe?
What are y'all talking about right now? Y'all talking about y'all talking about digging? What are y'all talking about right now?
I was asking because Athena's
You can
final
pull an
word.
IRS transcript. I mentioned it earlier in the episode. You can get IRS
On your partner? You're gonna pull up. You're gonna pull up.
Yes. Did you miss the first video when the lady? Did you miss the first
with
video,
a
Joe?
lien.
With the lien?
If you gotta do that, you already losing.
I agree, but Joe,
it wouldn't have worked for
listen,
though, because she had the wrong social security number. So if you dealing with a high level scammer ninja,
but then she would have found out she had the wrong
transcript,
number though. If she did it though, she would have found out the number ain't what it need to be.
it wouldn't even
That
be
was her
She'd have got that tax transcript and been like,
Why
"You
don't you
doing
just
good."
ask the person to put? Can you just ask them to pull their own IRS?
That's what I would do. That's what
Do
I
you
was
hear
thinking.
that people lie? He gonna make him up and Joe, what happened in a whole hour? He's gonna be like, dang, the IRS is closed due to COVID since 2020. I can't
And
even
then
get it out. That
and then you said
department
it.
is
And then
closed.
look, Athena, what are they doing when you hear all that? Woo!
It gets fuzzy. It gets fuzzy.
That's
Wait.
6 flags.
It ain't gonna make no difference. It ain't gonna make no difference. You gonna see that tax lien and keep on going.
IRS is closed.
Red flags
Joe,
feel like 6 flags, honey.
Joe,
we could do it.
Put the foot on the gas.
Joe, are you saying that if you have to pull credit checks and do all the things on your partner, you're saying deception is already
you're
there?
saying don't do it. You said don't pull. Wait a minute. You said don't do a credit check if you get married to somebody.
I'm saying if you can't ask somebody for that, can I get a credit check? Can I get your IRS trend? Can I get those things? And they would like willingly pull those things for you. If they don't willingly pull those things for you, it's red flags. And if you keep going after that.
The minute
that's true. That's true. I mean, you can't get that information without their permission. Of course, just like you can't get their. Well, you can do a soft pull. I can do a soft pull on them, but that's a whole nother story.
Already lost. You already lost. If you can't have that conversation, you already lost.
No, that's true.
Then he ain't the one. Okay,
then he's
so we already lost. It's already over.
Lost. Yeah, you don't got to do
it yourself.
You got to be anytime you have to be an investigator inside of your relationship, you have lost. Okay, you have lost.
That is true.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You lost. Okay.
Hiding in the bushes.
Yeah,
you won't hide in the bushes.
Yeah.
We won't hide in the bushes.
So Joe's saying now, if your intuition is causing you to have to go to this level to find out the truth, then you probably know what the answer is already. You already, your relationship kind of all right. But some of us might have trust issues, Joe. I mean, look at Risa Tisa.
Constance,
said
how do
go
I
to-
pull the
go to
IRS?
therapy.
Constance, how
Let me
do
tell
I
you
pull this IRS file? What are you
See,
Well,
Constance,
maybe
she gonna pull that out.
no. She wasn't doing that for her. She was doing that to tell him where he can go pull the IRS file, right?
Oh,
You were doing that so you could say, "Hey, babe,
No,
here's the website where
and
you
here
can go
go
pull the
Constance.
IRS
You got to
transcript."
get file
Yeah, Constance gonna
507.
watch you put your information in to make sure you pull the
Look online 6G to tell you everything you need to know, girl. No,
Hold up. What's the difference between doing that and somebody showing you? I had a man who pulled out his Kaiser app and was like, "I just want you to know what's happening." Like,
Well,
for
trust me.
for AIDS and all the things. He was like, before we start dating, I
Wouldn't
just
you?
want you to.
I do.
Yeah, like what's the my point is, what's the difference between asking somebody to pull their file and them showing, you know what I mean? Like just saying,
no
like, listen,
difference.
this is my
What do you want to
situation.
know?
Huh?
What do you want to know? There's no
Then you got
difference.
an
What do you want to
STD.
know? Ask for what you want to know.
Yeah,
If you want to know if he has an STD, ask to provide proof. If
Do
you
you
want to
have
know if he got
gonorrhea,
credit
sir?
problems, ask him to provide proof. That's all you got to do. If you won't do that for you, red flag.
I did date someone and I asked them, "Do you want me to pull my latest report? Or do you want me to go get a new test?" And I made him get a test.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
But you
have
didn't
those
like sneak
uncomfortable.
behind him at the doctor and be
Gotta
like,
have him
"Did
work.
you
Yeah.
really?"
If he starts, you just getting all tight, like, you know what?
But there are people pulling. I suggest y'all go together because there's people pulling fake reports now off the internet.
Exactly. Do whatever you
These
got to
people
do.
are scamming, Joe.
But you can
The
say that. Look,
level of
I
scam.
have been hurt in the past. Okay, and because of that, this is how I now show up in relationships. I need this in order for me to be comfortable. Now he now has the choice to decide whether or not he want to deal with that or not. And if he don't want to do that for you, okay, y'all not for each other. That's just what it is. Like protect yourself early. But if he starts getting tight and starts getting all upset and that's we got something. We got something. Now you go home and be like, oh, he got all mad, but that's okay.
Yeah, street urchin, honey. He a street urchin, honey. Listen. But all right. Word of the day. What was the word of the day? Demonetization. Word of the day. Phrase of the day. Red flags will feel like
It's fuzzy.
It's fuzzy.
Okay, it's fuzzy.
I can't see.
Okay, we need some Fly Nubian Queen merch, producer, while we're talking. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining our show. This is Fly Nubian Money. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948 because you do not want to miss these hot conversations that we have. Later on tonight, okay, we are going to do After Dark, where we talk about our sizzling, spicy, even somewhat taboo topics. Okay, so come by, have a drink with me and Erica. Joe will be there. Hopefully Marla will be there because we are discussing, are side chicks winning or not? Exploring if they
get part of that
real
conversation because I have no idea
of side chicks. So we are gonna be, our side chicks having fun at Six Flags.
Side chickology? Side chickology? Is that what it's called? Side chickology?
Yes, side chickology. Listen, are they thriving in these situationships, honey? So we are discussing that. I'll be in my robe per usual, sipping a drink. So come by at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, let me ask you this. So is this to encourage side chickology or discourage? Like, what is the purpose?
Just
we're
talking
exploring it all. We're exploring the pros. We're exploring the cons. We're seeing where the conversation takes us.
Okay, so then if I
hopefully to the abyss. Our goal is to go to the abyss and come back. So that's where we're going.
Watch, will it may encourage me to go down that road and get this shmoney?
Not the listen, you might get the scammy, so you be tread.
You might get the Gouda cheese contents. Your pH balance might be thrown off.
There's that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. This is Fly Nubian Money. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this crazy episode, and we'll see you hopefully later on tonight.